Hey, in this video we're going to be talking about backspin, specifically off the driver. Do you have enough of it? Do you have too much of it? What should it look like? What should your ball flight look like when you've got the spin just right? So if you'd like to increase your distance off the tee and become generally more distance efficient, then keep watching. Hey, I'm Steve with HitItLonger.com. I'm on a journey to hit it long and straight from tee to green, because that's just what makes the game of golf more fun for me. If you agree you'd like to have more fun with your game, hit it longer off the tee, hit it closer to the flag, lower your scores, then by all means join us. Hit the subscribe button, like this video, and hit the bell notifications, and leave a comment down below and nudge the YouTube algorithm in my favor. Oh, and one more thing, don't forget to visit my website, HitItLonger.com, where you're going to get over 100 free articles and videos that I think are going to help you become a better golfer. Okay, so first let's look at some numbers. I'm going to put up a chart from TrackMan. It's published by TrackMan up in the corner of the screen here. And you're going to see the optimal amount of spin for every 5 miles an hour of clubhead speed. You're going to need to get on a good launch monitor to be able to see your spin, which I do recommend that you do from time to time. You can see generally the rate of spin that you need to max out your distance with the driver. Now, one really fascinating fact that I found was we're having this big discussion on whether the golf ball goes too far, and we're talking about Bryson DeChambeau and Dustin Johnson, these other freaks that hit the ball at almost 200 miles an hour now out on tour. It's really crazy that they're able to keep it in play. So we're talking about dialing the ball back. But what's really interesting is that the ball has not gotten hotter in 25 years. Now that's an absolute fact. The USGA's level that they will allow the ball to come off the club face has not changed in 25 years. Yet the golf ball is going farther. Why? Simply because it spins a lot less. The modern golf ball spins several hundred RPMs less than what golf balls did 30 years ago. Now, understanding what your personal ideal spin rate is, it is a complex, very elusive problem. It's a number of variables and kind of a sliding scale. So if you don't have a launch monitor and you just you're the guy that wants to keep things simple, then what you're looking for in your ball flight is you're looking for high rainbows that look like they're following a parabolic arc. What a parabolic arc looks like, or a rainbow, just kind of a standard curve, almost like gravity's just affecting it at its normal rate. What you don't want to see, if we're just trying to keep things simple, is you don't want to see a low rising drive. A low rising drive gets a lot of oohs and ahs from the people you're playing with, and it seems like you really nailed it because you get this woo, and it seems like it's flying forever. But then when you get out there, you'll find that your ball plugged and only rolled 1 yard, and you're 30 yards behind the guys that you were playing with. So the low climbing ball, that's a ball that simply has too much backspin, climbs to a height, and it comes down so steeply that it doesn't get a lot of roll. So those are the ones that are really going to rob you of being distance efficient. All right, let's look at 3 equipment factors and 1 swing factor that are going to help you get the spin rate that you desire. Number 1 is the model golf ball that you play. So golf balls are not created equal, especially when it comes to backspin. Now, if you have too much backspin and you find yourself getting no roll, or you find that your ball is climbing too much, then you might check out a model golf ball that simply spins less off the driver. I've put a couple here in the corner of the screen that are low spin, and then a few that spin more, just in case that you swing at a slower speed and you need more backspin to keep your ball up in the air a little bit longer. Now, another way that you can reduce excess backspin, in fact, a very effective way, is by lowering the effective loft that you're playing in. Now, it's easy these days with the adjustable drivers that you can just unscrew the head and turn the setting down and put it on a lower loft. That's going to have an absolute immediate effect on dropping some of your backspin. But when dropping the loft of your club, you've got to be careful that now you're not launching it too low. So anytime that you lower the loft of the club head, it really needs to be paired up with an increasing angle of attack so that you're able to get the same launch angle that you had before, but now with less backspin. This will make your drives go much farther. All right, now for you big hitters out there, most of you definitely need to reduce your backspin down. You're looking for, say, 2,000 RPMs or less. If you're kind of a big hitter out there, one of the great ways you can do that is with the model head that you're playing. So with most of the major manufacturers, they put out a normal kind of Joe Schmo driver for the average speed of 85, 90 miles per hour, the average golfer. But maybe you're swinging well over 100. You want to look into some of these alternative models. They can be very subtle, so you kind of need to ask for them. And so, for example, with the Callaway, they have one that's called Sub-Zero. So you can get, like, the new model is called the Maverick. You can get a Maverick Sub-Zero, and that basically is doing is it's kind of moving around the weighting inside the club so that it creates less lift and backspin. That way it will support a faster swing. Ping's version is called I believe it's called the LST. It's marked on the bottom of the club. It says LST. That is their faster swingers version. That's going to help you bring your spin down. Now, where you hit the ball in the club face has a major effect on how much the ball is going to spin. Specifically, if you hit the ball and you tend to hit the ball low on the face and or towards the heel, which usually kind of goes together. Most people hit diagonally away from the center towards the low heel when they miss. If you're that style of swinger, then you're going to get a lot of drives, a lot of backspin. And I would really urge you to figure out what part of your swing technique is causing you to consistently hit that part of the club face. Now, I've worked with well over 100 long drive pros, and I can tell you from that experience, because these guys do a lot of tinkering with their gear. They have lots of different drivers with different lofts and different shafts, all kinds of different variables involved, and they're trying to find what's going to work that day given the conditions they have for the competition. But I can tell you from that experience that swing technique easily eclipses equipment and ball changes when it comes to creating backspin. There's just certain techniques of swing that make you a low spin player. Now, I would advocate doing these two things, and that is, number one, I'd advocate making sure, I'm using my hoop here to help illustrate, I want you to make sure that you're on an up and out path when you come into the ball. So coming in at it this way, with your swing plane a little bit to the right, but hitting up on the ball. See, my path is still straight, even though my swing plane is off to the right quite a bit. Now, this hula hoop is set in such a way that it is kind of exaggerating everything, but you can see right where the hoop is going over the top of the ball that the path is straight here. Now, this is where I try to get all my students onto this swing plane, especially older golfers who are losing some of their power. Now, let's look at how that would look with the driver. That would mean that the club is approaching this way from the inside and turning upwards as it squares up with the target line, just like that. Now, in addition to that, we've got to really release early. Throw the club from the top of the swing and do not try to hold any lag. Now, if you can combine those two ideas with your swing, no matter what equipment you're using, you're really going to be able to get the launch angle up, and therefore, if you can have the spin come down, then you're really going to hit a lot of distance out there. In fact, I'm going to put up the TrackMan chart up in the corner of the screen. I've found that I can cheese this chart. This is supposed to be the optimals, but I've found with myself and my students, I can cheese this chart by 3-4 more yards if I go higher in my launch than they're recommended and lower with my spin than they recommend. And that's going to involve making sure that you come under, up, and out, release the club early from the top of the swing without any delay. Let me see if I can give it a shot here. We'll take a look at the numbers and see if I created that upward strike, high launch, low spin condition that makes the ball go the farthest. So in my opinion, well, gear like club, shaft, and ball, you can work with those to bring your spin either into the range you want it, or if you have too much spin, can really help you bring it down. And bringing down your spin can really get you a lot farther down the fairway off the tee. But I've found that what is the biggest influence of all is coming into the ball from the right angle, up and out, releasing the hands early, squaring up at the ball, and that way I think you're going to get the lowest possible spin you can get with the highest launch angle. So the two things work in combination to give you really long drives. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I'm going to go back and keep working on my high launch, low spin drives, so where I can hit it way out there but not feel like I'm swinging very hard. Thanks to Golf Development Complex in Moorpark, California for hosting us today. Beautiful weather as usual. Come out and join me, hit a bucket of balls sometimes. And hey, if I don't see you in the next video, which I hope you watch, I hope I see you longer and straighter down the fairway. Take good care.